The following is a presentation of the Houston Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. On the Houston Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is Coogs Corner, featuring Chris Pesman, the official podcast of University of Houston Athletics. Now, here's Kevin Eschenfelder.
Hey, we welcome you to Coogs Corner. My name is Kevin Eschenfelder. It's the official podcast of University of Houston Athletics. And Houston fans, well, you want to have the best tailgate at Coogs games, visit tailgateusa.net to order, or for more information, Tailgate USA is the place to be. Show up, have fun, and we will do the rest. We've got a good show coming up here today. TJ Meager will be joining us a little bit later on, as well as Taylor Scape. She's one of the best in the weight throw in the entire country. But we start things off at the top, as we always do, with Chris Pesman, the athletic director at the University of Houston. We talked a couple, 10 days ago, Pez, and things don't seem, if anything, maybe things are stranger now than they were 10 days ago. It's a weird time.
Yeah, it's I try not to get too far ahead because the only thing that's certain is that it's going to change. And, what was 10 days ago and where we are today are two different places. And, again, I remain optimistic that in 10 days we'll be in a much better place.
Pez, the reality of it is, we look at a terrible situation that's happening with our country, real life. You're looking at it as a guy that I know is probably losing a lot of sleep, quite frankly, because this has got business ramifications. And give me an idea of some of the struggles that you're going through and businesses all over the country. And we're fortunate. I get all that. We're talking about looking into the micro of this, not the macro. As far as you're concerned, some of the issues, some of the challenges that this situation has made you guys have to face.
Well, always it starts with our kids and our staff. You want to make sure everybody's in a good place. Fortunately, I think we've, for lack of a better word, triaged this, and everybody's somewhere they feel comfortable and safe, and they're able to sleep and get food, and hopefully are working out. So what we've moved into is planning for the future as best we can with a lot of incomplete information or projected information. Obviously, finances are first and foremost after we take care of the health and well-being of our kids and staff. So, we're running the full gamut of, if our revenue streams are down, what does that look like? If our seasons are impacted, what does that look like? Particularly with revenue, if that's down, what adjustments can we make to try to offset that lost revenue? Obviously we are very grateful for the support we receive for the institution and from our student athletes and students across campus. And you're always doing that exercise, but even more so now because, a good analogy is for, every $50,000 or $100,000 you save, that could be a teaching assistant or somebody that can help with the endeavors of the university. And so, we're doing everything we can to make the $1 turn into $2 or $5, hopefully.
Yeah. You got to get creative in times like this. And, it's, let's face it, some programs, it's a little easier to write those checks than others. And, that's just the reality of NCAA sports. Is creativity something that you guys are going to have to maybe lean on a little bit, like a lot of programs at this level?
Yeah, the interesting thing is one of our initiatives was going out and booking special events, and that revenue stream that we were just really hitting our stride in goes out the window when the virus hit and the XFL shut down, and a bunch of concerts we were getting ready to announce and events we were getting ready to announce for the spring and summer, have to be put off. So what was going to be, $1 million plus pot of new money now goes out. So now you got to look around and say, okay, where else can we look? There's not a lot of rocks that are left to turn over. You think about Learfield and our partners with Learfield and, that industry, Learfield and IMG merged about a year ago. And they've got over 200 properties within the cloud space that they sell multimedia rights for. Imagine trying to sell, those assets in this market with the recession, it's a pretty difficult time. And those discretionary dollars that businesses have, they're pulling back on because they want to keep their people employed, which is the right thing to do. The good thing that comes out of this is you get a little bit more time to talk to your donors and have really meaningful conversations. And we've got some really, really bright people in the business industry. And, it's obviously, pretty stark with the current condition of our economy, but it doesn't feel like this is something that's going to be a 10-year recession. Once we get through this virus, we should see a rapid uptick in the production of the economy and its recovery, which in turn benefits us.
Are you seeing that when you talk about people keeping it and companies holding it, closer to their chest, not exactly knowing what the future holds financially? Are you seeing that from the season ticket holders, from boosters and things like that? I mean, because it's a difficult time.
Yeah, we thought about that, and so we sent out communication to our donors about 2 weeks ago and told them that, look, you've been with us through thick and thin, and we want to be with you through thick and thin, and know that we know it's a difficult time. So if there's special considerations that are needed, if we can be assist in any way to rearrange or develop payment plans, to forego a commitment and push it out to future years when they feel more comfortable, we're having a lot of those conversations. And what's really gratifying is most people, first and foremost, just appreciate the fact that we've reached out. And the second part is they feel pretty good about supporting the university. It's something that's been a core concern or care or something that they really is important to them. And our season ticket renewals, while down, have not been as down as what I thought they would be. The renewals are going along briskly. And we're all things considered, we're in a pretty good place.
Let's talk about the student athletes, the NCAA granting spring sport athletes that extra year of eligibility. Give me an idea, because people go, oh, that's great. You got another year of eligibility, and it is great. It's great for the student athlete, but that's not quite as black and white as it is. Can you describe that just a little bit and then enlighten people a little bit?
Sure. That's a great question. So first and foremost, the NCAA, they did the right thing. These kids were affected by something that was absolutely outside of everybody's control, and they lost a year of competition. So the original concept was that they were going to give the senior athletes a year back. And the NCAA's wisdom, which is the right thing to do, is they allowed every spring athlete, that's baseball, softball, track and field, and tennis, and the golf programs and those are the sports that we sponsor in the spring, whether you're a freshman or a senior, to get that year back. The unintended consequence of that, or the intended consequence, is they uncapped the scholarship limit. So normally, let's say baseball or softball gets 12 scholarships. Now, if you bring those seniors back, you can exceed that 12 scholarship limit. The initial cost to us, as we ran the analysis, was close to $800,000. After having conversations with coaches and the first wave of just, hey, are all these seniors going to come back? That number came down about 480. The challenge with that is we are seeing decreased revenues as we lost out on the NCAA tournament money, and we lost about a third of that money that normally would come back to us. And then anticipating, Learfield and our partners, in a difficult time, our donors in a difficult time, now is not the time to go ask people for money. So we've got to figure out a way to take care and close the gap on that $480,000 to allow the senior athletes to be able to come back and participate in their senior year.
Visiting with Houston Athletic Director Chris Pesman here on Coogs Corner. Pez, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Go ahead, finish up your thought there before I ask my next question.
Well, and the other thing that kind of gets lost in this is there's ripple effect, because it's not just seniors. It goes all the way down, junior, senior, sophomores. So now the other part of this is, if you're a high school senior and you're coming in, and I'll use a baseball analogy. Let's say you thought the shortstop was going to leave. Now you're a senior and that shortstop's here. And I thought I was going to be the guy. Now what do? Do I come back? Do I sit? Or do I transfer somewhere else? The other part of this that the NCAA is allowing is, if you want to transfer, you can transfer without having to sit out. that sounds good, but if 10,000 people hit the transfer portal, there's not many, if any, opportunities unless you're the elite of the elite. So I think what we've kind of done is we've pushed the pressure down to those kids that are in high school to make the decision and if they want to come here or not, with the potential that somebody could be in front of them and diminish their playing time. But look, at the end of the day, it's this is nothing compared to what the world and the country is going through, and we'll figure it out, and we'll do what's right by these kids.
All right, Chris, man, it's I try to, no, I always want to leave you with the last word. I think I'm going to try to come up with a catchphrase for it. So I'm going to say Pez says. How about that? Just leave us with some thoughts and what's going through your head right now and what we can look forward to.
Yeah, right now what we're doing is we're in a planning mode. We're thinking about the fall. We're thinking about when we can get our kids back on campus, whenever that is, whether it's June or July, or even August. Making sure that we're in constant communication with our coaches, our donors, our student athletes, and really in planning mode for any potential scenario. And look, it's widespread. You have no idea what's coming, as the last 3 weeks has proven. But what I would tell people, and I mean this sincerely, is we've got a lot of really, really smart people working on this. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about at really high levels from the university, the medical people that are out there, all the researchers. We're going to find a way through this. Hang with us, hang tight, help us flatten the curve, and we'll find a way through this.
All right, Applied Production Services is the total event source, is ready to provide your special event with expertise needed to make it run smooth and cost efficient. Whether you're christening a multi-million-dollar oil platform, welcoming foreign dignitaries, or throwing a party for 50 or 5,000 friends, APS can provide the necessary infrastructure and equipment to make your event a success. Chris Pesman, we certainly appreciate your time, as always, here on Coogs Corner, man. Best of luck and stay safe. Wash your hands.
You too, Ash. Appreciate you. It's always good to see you. I'm glad my beard is thicker than yours, but yours is a better color.
Stay safe, buddy. Go Cougs.
You too, brother. Be good.
We'll have more Coogs Corner after these local messages.
Life moves, and we move with it, until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings us to a stop. That's why there's The Joint Chiropractic, a national network of chiropractic clinics that keep people moving, healthy, and active. At The Joint Chiropractic, you never need an appointment or insurance, and we're open evenings and weekends. Visit today and keep your life moving with our $29 new patient special, including exam, consultation, and adjustment. Visit thejoint.com for details.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Coogs Corner, featuring Chris Pesman, the official podcast of University of Houston Athletics. Here's Kevin Eschenfelder.
Welcome back to Coogs Corner. We want to remind you the Christian's Tailgate Bar and Grill, voted Houston's best burger. In observance of the countrywide stay home, work safe order, Christian's Tailgate is offering curbside pickup and delivery from our Midtown location at 2000 Bagby. You can call us at 713-527-0261. Never frozen ground beef on a toasted bun with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions, and your choice of cheese. Your award-winning burger is served with hand-cut fries or buttermilk battered onion rings. Get it to go with a six-pack of your favorite beer. Christian's Tailgate, 713-527-0261. We roll on here on Coogs Corners. We welcome in Taylor Scaife. She is one of the best in the country at the weight throw. We appreciate you spending a little time with us. Crazy time right now. I know you're at home in Moss Point, Mississippi right now, right?
Yes, I am.
And now this is your senior year. Give us an idea where you were, how you found out about it, because I know you were ready to go for the indoors, right? The Nationals in Albuquerque, right?
Yeah, I was ready to go. We had made it to the practice facility the day before the competition started, warmed up, sweating, got everything ready to go, got taped up, got my back rubbed out, did everything that I do before I get ready to throw. Went over to the competitions area. I got started and I do about 3 throws and my coach is like, get ready for your final throw of the year. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, I don't really know what that means, because I'm just so like focused on what I was doing. I had a lot of things. I had never been in that ring before, so I had to do a lot to prepare for my competition that Saturday. So I was really trying to figure it out. And he was like, "Get ready for your last throw." And I was like, "Okay." And I just did it. And he came over to me and said, they canceled the entire season. And I was just like, okay, cancel. Okay. And then I don't think it hit me until I got on the bus. And then I realized the verbiage that he used. I was like, wait, he said canceled and not postponed. So I was like, okay, so that means that we're not having this at all. So the whole bus ride, we were just kind of silent. And I think everybody was really just trying to process what we had been told.
So your initial thoughts when you hear that, and then it starts to, it took you a minute to, rather than, immediate panic of thinking I'm done, to
right.
really processing it and saying, when you did process it, what was your thought before you had heard? Let's go back to before you hear from the NCAA as far as the extra year. What was your thought process at that
point? This was it. We all gathered. Me and a lot of other people were 5th-year athletes as well, so we all gathered, and it was like, wow, this is going to be it. There's nothing else to look forward to. Like, this is literally it. Everybody was looking forward to, competing at nationals and going on to outdoor. And I think we all just kind of looked at each other and everybody was trying to fight back tears because I think we realized we were all sympathy criers. So if one started, it was going to be a ripple effect of everyone else. So I think, when we finally got together and sat there and was just like, yeah, guys, this is it. And then that's when it hit us all.
And then you get the word a little bit later, a couple weeks later, actually, maybe even more than that, all of a sudden now there's light at the end of the tunnel that you're going to get your year of eligibility back. What was the thought process at that point?
I was excited. I was very excited to hear that. I didn't want to get too excited because I realized that they had just made the decision. But along with that decision, that major and, that new to the NCAA world, I knew that there were going to be a lot of things that needed to be worked out with all of the schools. So I think that kind of brought the excitement down just a little bit. So I think whenever I really get a feel for like what the decision is going to be, then I'll be, that excitement will be back up there. So right now I'm just, waiting for, to know all of the details, because I'm a detail person. So I really just want to know all of the details of it. But I'm pretty excited that they made that decision. I think it's a very good decision. And I think the next step is just for us as athletes to hear from the university as to what they're going to do in regards to, funding and everything like that.
Exactly. And because it's not just as simple as, hey, I'll be back. I mean, let's face it, you get to a certain point because, all of a sudden life rears its ugly head and some people are, ready to get on and start living that life. So, some people, it's not as simple as being able to come back. There's other issues that fall in, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Give me an idea, because you've got you got a lot of friends I know with Olympic aspirations that you deal with, and seeing that the Tokyo Games, you train for all of that, and then it comes down to this, and then all of a sudden it goes up in smoke. And even though it's going to be back in a year later, I know that's got to be a tough pill for those to swallow.
Yeah, of course. I've seen a lot of different posts and talked to a lot of my friends. And I think that everybody is very happy that the decision was made. I saw a lot of posts saying that, we're glad that they made the decision because everybody will be on, have like a clean slate. Like hopefully Corona dies down and things start opening back up, gym facilities and things like that. So people can start lifting and, throwing and running and jumping again. So I think everyone was excited that the decision was made because, it's a clean slate. And I hear excitement about it, and I'm excited as well. So hopefully I'll be in that bunch for outdoor. So I was excited as well to just really be able to focus on that whenever it comes around next year.
What are you able to do there in Moss Point, Mississippi? I know a lot of people in the Houston area, you really can't congregate, you can't get together, you can't work out together. What are you doing to try to stay informed?
It's the same thing here. My mom is always going to pick up water. So anytime I need water, anytime I'm going to the car to get water, I'm carrying like 3 at a time. And I know people are looking at me like I'm crazy. I have the groceries like halfway up my arm. So just doing a lot of, basic things like that. I'm doing heavy lifting for everyone just to, keep that same somewhat intensity. Doing a lot of running that I have never done before. Doing a lot more running just because I don't have, the weightlifting aspect of it. But yeah, just really trying to, find household items and like everyday activities that I'm already doing and just making it as heavy as possible and walking around like a crazy person.
There you go. Hey, life moves until back, neck, or shoulder pain brings us to a stop. That's why there's a Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of the University of Houston Athletics. To receive our $29 new patient special, visit thejointchiropractic.com. Taylor Scape visiting with us here on Coogs Corner. You battled through some, I strategically put that read in there because you battled through some injuries this year. You had, less than 150 throws, but yet were able to put together a great season. In fact, you had one of the top 3 throws in the country this year.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how that was able to come together. It's still amazing to me. I just go back and think in the fall, I just, throughout the fall, I just felt so defeated and just so down on myself that I wasn't going to be able to pull it together to capitalize on the season that I had prior before. So I just really leaned on like my support system, my family, my coaches, my athletic trainers, which are amazing. And the reason why I got back to be able to get to that big throw that I had at LSU. So I really honestly could just give thanks to the people around me that were in my corners every day, telling me that I was going to get back and, going to be better than ever. So honestly, it's all on them. They poured into me and I just did my best to really display on what had been poured into me.
I know that you don't get as far as you have gotten in your career, your athletic career, without being very disciplined and have a good appreciation for the moment. Does this, knowing that this could have come to an end so quickly, does this give you a little added pause to really appreciate that maybe possible sixth year senior situation for you?
Oh yeah, it does for sure. I would have never thought that would have happened. I know my coach joked when I was injured, saying, you might get a 6th year, and I was like, I don't think I will. I don't think that'll happen. And it's just funny how it came around that COVID-19 happened. It's like, well, I know we set it for a different reason. You might get a 6th year, but hey, it might be knocking at the door. So I didn't plan for it. I just plan to, start working and, train for the Olympic trials. So it's definitely throwing a huge monkey wrench and just, I have like question marks on all my life plans right now. But I'm just excited. Like I said, I'm just waiting to, figure out what the rulings are going to be with the universities as to how they're going to bring us back to make a decision about everything.
Taylor Scape, 2-time American Athletic Conference weight throw champion in 2019-2020. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on Coogs Corner. Stay safe there in Moss Point, Mississippi. Okay, we hope to see you in Houston soon.
Thank you so much. Go Coogs.
All right, go Coogs. Stay with us. More to come. When we come back, TJ Meager will join us here on Coogs Corner. That's next.
How to convince your parents to take you to Freddy's for rich and creamy frozen custard. Ask your parents if they've ever seen frozen custard being freshly churned like Freddy's does every day. Wonder out loud why hot fudge, caramel, and toasted pecans are known as a turtle. Then, program the nearest Freddy's into the navigation system in your parents' car. They'll follow that voice anywhere. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, the taste that brings you back.
A proud corporate sponsor of University of Houston Athletics.
Get ready to roar and get set to succeed with TDECU, the preferred financial institution of the University of Houston. TDECU is your credit union, here to help you win with all the forward-thinking, tech-focused financial solutions you need to get from here to everywhere. Join today and open a TDECU high-yield checking account and earn 25 times more than the average checking account, and get a University of Houston branded Visa debit card. Visit us in the Student Center or at tdecu.org. TDECU membership required. For full terms and conditions, contact TDECU, insured by NCUA.
This is Coogs Corner. Here's Kevin Eschenfelder.
Hey, welcome back to Coogs Corner. Pest Force is a family-owned and operated company providing quality pest control solutions For homeowners and businesses throughout Texas, we have developed a reputation for the highest level of customer services in the industry. You can give us a call at 281-519-7615 to get a quote now. That number again, 281-519-7615. That is Pest Force Pest Control. We welcome in TJ Meager. He is the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Capital Projects. And right now, I guess, TJ, it's we're going through all the different scenarios and what everybody's doing right now. And your department has got a unique situation going on. You guys are making sure that those facilities are safe right now.
Absolutely. It's been a pretty relentless battle since all this started to manifest itself earlier in the spring. We first started sanitizing just to prevent the normal spread of influenza, and it kind of metastasized itself into being the COVID-19 interest. But we got a great partner with Metro Clean. It's a group that works with us to clean our facilities, and they brought a lot of strong technological advances that they've been using in hospitals throughout the city, and they were well prepared to deal with the situation that we had. So we were able to really look after our student athletes in cleaning their locker rooms and the common spaces in our building to try to minimize the spread as much as possible, but nobody could have seen where it was going when we started all this.
Logistically, give me an idea of what they do. I mean, it's, you say sanitize. I mean, have you seen them? Have you gone through there? And what facilities are we talking about? Because I know we're talking Fertitta Center, we're talking weight rooms, we're talking everywhere, right? What are they doing?
Well, they've brought in some, as I said, the technology they're using in these hospitals where they're spraying a product that they refer to as Razor, which applies itself to any solid surface. And it takes about a minute to, I'd say absorb, but that's probably not the right word for it. But essentially it provides a barrier so that if a germ were to land on it, it supposedly kills itself. So that treatment is supposed to last up to 90 days, but it obviously has a lot to do with what's happening in terms of the amount of traffic that's going through that space, and just trying to be responsible, not just going by the manufactured suggested treatment of each of these areas. So they started out fogging, and then they advanced to this treatment, and been very effective. I feel like our building in common areas, because as you said, Fertitta Center, TDECU Stadium, we were hosting the XFL. Houston Roughnecks were existing in that space. So our directive to Metro Clean was pretty clear. If it's got people, we want you to treat it. So all the common areas, restrooms, locker rooms, sports medicine, sports performance, we were as comprehensive as possible to do our best to fight the spread of the infection.
With the XFL, because that's an added little curve in the road that most schools and most athletic departments don't have to deal with. What if is it just been a matter of having to do more because you have more people in that area?
Well, with the way that our custodial contract works, Metro Clean is able to staff up for incidences like having the XFL. We were awarded that franchise in the previous year, and being prepared for them and giving them a place where they can operate and treat their student. They don't have student athletes, they have professionals. But it was ultimately an underutilized facility during the off season, so it ended up being a great partnership for us. And Metro Clean was able to staff appropriately, and then when the spread of the virus came, they were able to look after their area suitably as well, and made all the difference in us being properly staffed to be able to deal with that.
You've led the construction and the renovation projects. You've overseen what more than $250 million. That seems like it's been the last 5 years, right? So it's been a strange time. I mean, needless to say, with all that going on, and then they have to throw this at you, right?
It's hard to call it a strange time, to be honest with you, Kevin. I was so fortunate to be a part of this renaissance of UH athletics, from the opening of TDECU Stadium in 2014, and then moving on the Guy V. Lewis Development Facility, and finally the Fertitta Center which were the originally proposed projects when we started this back in 2010. Moving with the student referendum, that's what we expected to achieve. But in the middle of all that, we had multiple other smaller projects. And the indoor practice facility is not one that I'd call small, but it was one that we really pulled together quickly with some strong leadership. And it made all the difference in the future of the football program. But several locker room renovations, video board installations, field replacements. I mean, we've done some extraordinary amount of work to account for that. As you said, more than $250 million worth of capital projects.
Hey, TJ, hold with us just for a second. Now, if you're like most Cougs, the friendships you create, the clubs you join, and the teams that you're a part of build some of the best memories for the University of Houston, lifelong memories that you can share for years to come. Become a life member through the Alumni Association. Helps you continue to share those memories with fellow Cougs while supporting the university. Starting with your membership, it's quick and easy and affordable with multiple payment plans available. Show your pride for life by becoming a life member at HoustonAlumni.com/life member. Visiting here with TJ Minger. He is the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Capital Projects. I'm curious, because right before you just talked about the new turf there at TDECU Stadium. Can you give us, because I think this is going to be something fans are really going to appreciate, not just in the building, but on television as well, because you can do some fun things with it. Can you give me an idea of what that's all about?
Well, absolutely. I think it's the visionary leadership to see the opportunity of taking a basically a green field, removing all football markings, and giving us a blank canvas to work from, and allowing some creativity. Obviously, full respect given to all the regulation marks you need to have the conduct of a football game. But ultimately, there's some great latitude you can take with the coloring in the end zones, the midfield logo, any kind of, what would be a good way to say it, like a shadow effect in midfield. You can do some things that would really make that destination when you're talking about channel surfing and flipping through and seeing TDECU Stadium going, God, what is that on their field? I think Boise State captured that years ago when they went with the Smurf turf, and they saw the opportunity that they could take with that. And I think that our opportunity here is equally, if not more dynamic, because we have a full blank canvas to work from.
Especially some of those Thursday night national games when people are flipping through the channels. You might see a space scene or something like that, an astronaut. I've seen the different mock-ups that you might be able to put out there on the field that kind of represent not just the university, but the city, right?
A great branding opportunity, no question. And being a partner of the city of Houston, its university, I feel like we have great opportunities to really capture that and celebrate it in a way that should have some national attention, and again, take advantage of just a really special decision that gives us some great opportunities moving forward.
You're working on 20 years there in Cougar Red, right? It's when you got there, and I know it's hard because it's not an immediate change. It's a slow evolution, but to walk around there every once in a while, do you ever shake your head and go, man, this is not exactly what we saw when I got there in 2000, 2001?
I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin, because I agree. There's just an incredibly unique feeling you get from seeing what we've been able to do in that department. There's only a handful of people who've had longer tenure there than myself. And I admit when I got there, I did not think this was how it was going to go. But, something really happened when we hired Dr. Couture. And I think everything was in place. We just needed a spark, and her leadership was absolutely everything that UH Athletics needed to really take a dramatic step forward and gain a lot of national attention and see what the potential was. It was her leadership, and then her hires for athletics director, and believing in what athletics could do to raise the awareness of the university's mission in the region, in the state, in the nation, and globally. She has incredible ideas about the future of the institution, and sees athletics as having a driving force behind its success.
TJ, it's always good visiting with you. We wish you nothing but the best. Stay safe, and I know you guys are working on a regular basis when a lot of us are kind of having our lives changed a little bit right now. So best of luck, and thanks very much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a pleasure.
All right, that is TJ Meager visiting with us here on Coogs Corner, and that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Our thanks to Taylor Scape, as well as, of course, Chris Pesman with us as always. And we'll see you again next time on Coogs Corner.
On the Houston Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. You've been listening to Coogs Corner, featuring Chris Pesman. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of the Houston Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.